Welcome to the We Are More podcast. My name is Alyssa.
And my name is Bree. We're two sisters passionate about all things faith and feminism.
We believe that Jesus trusted, respected, and encouraged women to teach and preach his word. And apparently that's controversial.
Get comfy. Hello, world.
Hello. Mostly women. Ooh, I could hear your lungs.
I am still not better. Like, I'm on the mend, don't get me wrong.
But I think you're faking it.
I think this is the end of week 4, Brianna. You heard my lungs.
Plagues last a long time.
They do. It's not a great time.
Especially when you're a baby about it.
They said 1 to 3 months, but I was like, I'm young, I'm spry. It's fine.
I'm sprightly.
Turns out I'm not, and I don't really appreciate how that makes me feel.
You're old.
I'm old.
I'm old.
So today we're going to be talking about dating.
Yeah.
So much fun.
The wonderful world of dating.
Which is mostly going to be on Brie because I haven't dated in 12 solid years. And even
Did you
really
ever
before
really
that,
date?
not really.
Dating sucks. I'm just, like, there's a whole crop of women out there who have just decided, not because they necessarily want to be single, but they're just like, dating's too hard. Forget it.
I mean, really, it sounds horrific.
Yeah, it is.
Nathan and I was 19 when we started dating.
She was a child bride.
I was not when I got married. So when we started dating. But because I'm old, because I'm elderly, prior to that, dating apps had really just come out.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even have a smartphone at that point. I was not on any dating apps ever. So I don't even understand. I know swipe right, swipe left, and that's like the end of my knowledge of dating in the modern day.
The modern day of dating.
So Brie, for those of us like me that were child brides, tell us what it's like. What is it like to date on the apps?
It is offensive. It is terrible, and it's horrible. Those are my adjectives.
Those are great. Good adjectives.
So I don't know if I'm I'm not the biggest dater. I'm not going out on dates every second, so don't think that about me. But I have experienced the dating apps, the Bumble, the Hinge, the Tinder, what other ones are there?
Girl, I don't know.
I don't know. That's the point. But it's really a truly terrible experience, and you get a little glimpse into how bad the world really is.
It makes me, again, because I never had to deal with this, I dealt with people face to face. And it's amazing the difference what men will say to you face to face versus what you've said they'll say to you on the apps.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think people find so much power behind their phone. Like, you might be able to see their face on these dating apps, but they can say whatever they want. So the most experience that I have is on, and please don't go on the apps looking for me. I'm like, just leave me be. But Hinge,
considering that I think most of our listeners are women, I mean they could still
don't come looking for me, ladies.
But I don't think that's how your profile is set
unless
up.
You're very old and close to death and have a lot of money and you're interested in a friendship. But I'm on Hinge mostly, and they have prompts that you can answer about yourself. Like, this is what I'm looking for in a person, and here's 2 truths and a lie, or whatever. Just like different things that you can.
And those go on your profile?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas Tinder, I think, is more like mostly pictures.
Okay.
Back in the day with my experience with that.
Back
it was
in the day.
mostly pictures. But yeah, guys will put on their profiles like these whole lists of stipulations. Huge lists of, I want a woman who loves the Lord and knows how to cook and is athletic, but also she likes to be lazy, but also she wants 47 children, but also she also has to have a career and be ambitious, but she also has to, listen to me because I am the man.
Fun.
It's so hard to be a woman. Whereas, like, now I haven't looked at other women's profiles, but I know just from my friends and, myself, We're just looking for someone who isn't terrible.
The worst.
Just some of my fun experiences. I'll just, because we're in the first couple of minutes, here, you can laugh at my sad tragedies. One time I was talking to this guy, and we had agreed to go out on a date, and before we went out on the date, he wanted to like talk on the phone. I'm like, ugh, don't want to do that.
But I'll meet you in real life.
So we're talking on the phone, and for some reason he's walking around his house, and he's like, wow, look at this. I'm going to send you a picture real quick. And I'm like, okay. This is a painting that I did when I was in 2nd grade.
Oh, boy.
And it really is like that pointillism art.
In 2nd
where it's
grade?
just like little dots of like a leopard or something like that. And I'm like, okay.
So he colored in one of those Lisa Frank drawings.
Exactly.
Cool.
And then he also sent me a picture of him as a toddler. And he played a song on the piano and sent it to me, and it was truly terrible. And I thought, no, thank you. I can appreciate that someday you will find a lid to your pot, but no, thank you.
It won't be me.
It shan't be me.
Wasn't there a guy recently that, boys out there,
Oh, get ready.
if you talk to Bree, we're talking about you on the podcast, so
talking about
prepare
you.
yourselves. That said he'd like run over his grandmother or something horrifying.
Yes, let me pull up I took a screenshot. So on Hinge, you can like someone, and you can send them a message, but in order for you to chat back and forth, they have to like you back.
Okay.
This particular person, I did not like back. Let's see. Michael.
guess
Here we
why?
go, Michael.
Don't say his name.
I'm not saying his last name, but if you're going to be creepy, I'm going to put you on blast. He said, I would throw my grandma down a flight of stairs, crawl butt naked across broken glass, and roll around in salt to take you out. Keep in mind, there's no grammar.
I want to understand. I'm sure this is like a pickup line that he found somewhere on the internet. But I want to understand what went through his brain that was like, this is going to get this girl to talk to me. Like, what has happened here? Boys of the world.
I don't know.
Because I can't call this a man. I don't know what's happening here.
And what's even more frustrating is that they're like, they think that they are the moon and the stars. They think they're the greatest of all time. And meanwhile, they're like, I'm in between jobs and I'm confused, but I also want a woman who does this.
Right. One of the things I've seen online a lot, and I am not a proponent of traditional living and things like that, obviously, if you've listened to the podcast at all. But one of the things that I've seen online is that men talk so much about wanting this traditional lifestyle, and they're like, well, then you need to be the man from that story.
Yeah.
Now, again, I'm not a proponent of this, but if you're going to say this is the lifestyle that I want to live, then you need to be making enough money that her needing a job is not necessary, you know?
Not only not necessary, but it can afford you going on vacations.
Right.
And all your kids' many sports that she has
Right.
to tote them around to. And her gym membership and all of this other stuff.
Yep.
Like, that's all on you, buddy.
Yeah. And that's not a way that I'm saying that you should necessarily live.
No.
But if you're, as a man, going to push for that, then there are actually expectations on you, too. You don't just get off scot-free. But I feel like these kinds of boys feel like, well, yeah, I'm just going to get a mom.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get a mom, and she's just going to take care of me.
That's how it feels on these dating apps is these boys out here are looking for a housekeeper or a mother.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the women out there are opening their eyes, all the, my single women out there are opening their eyes and being like, no.
Yeah.
You're not adding any value to my life.
Right.
You are leaving.
Right.
Goodbye.
Well, I think, and, if we put this in the Christian context, Christian women have this expectation put on them in even a bigger way. Not that non-Christian women don't have it put on them, because they for sure do. But Christian women have it put on them as though if you don't want to live this way, if you're not fine with this list of rules and you must be under this many pounds also, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Then God is pissed at you.
Right.
Then you don't get to go to heaven. You don't get to be a good wife. You don't get to whatever. And I think that's where it becomes even more manipulative. Not that it wasn't manipulative before, but where it becomes even worse. I saw a TikTok of a girl, and I've been watching, because we've been planning on doing this episode, I've been watching a lot of people respond to other videos. So it'll be like, there's one, he calls himself Speech Prof, and he will go on and react to, the best way I can describe it is like bro podcasts. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. He really reacts to a lot of stuff, but they're these self-proclaimed alpha male garbage humans. And so he'll go on and respond to that. Or there's another woman on here that she does a really similar thing. She's always in her bathroom, and I'm not clear as to why.
She's got IBS. Leave her be.
That's where she's got to live her life there.
She's working from home on her toilet.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
But she did one, and she was reacting to this young guy. Okay, like, these are not all of them, but a ton of them are in their early 20s. I'm sorry, you think you have life figured out in your early 20s and relationships figured out? You do not.
Just you wait.
You just super do not. Even if you're in a healthy marriage. I did not have relationships figured out in my early 20s. But it was this man-child, and he was on there, and he had his laundry list of like, this is what I expect out of my woman, you know, whatever, because it's never a respectful, my partner, my spouse, my wife, my woman. It's always
Like,
that.
you have ownership.
Exactly. And so he has his laundry list of whatever, and he's like, and this is how it's supposed to be. This is blah, 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 blah. And she actually went through, because he said, I'm not looking for a mom. I'm looking for a wife, and this is what she needs to do. And so this woman, reacting to it, she goes, actually, everything you just described is what a parent would do, is what a mom would do. And your brain is thinking back to when you were a child.
Right.
And your mom made you dinner, and it was comforting, and it was pleasant and lovely. And your mom tucked you in at night and, you know, did all these things. And you woke up and the house was clean. And you woke up and all the Christmas gifts were wrapped. And you didn't have to do anything to make those things a reality because you were a child. And yes, for many of us, those are nice memories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are comforting
Nostalgic.
moments. Yeah. But the reality is you are now an adult.
Right.
And so when you put all of this on someone else and take no responsibility yourself, now, A, you're a garbage human.
Yeah.
And B, you're telling your partner she doesn't actually have any value to you other than what she can do for you.
Right. Yeah.
So you are looking for a mom. You just don't want to admit to the fact that you're looking for a mom.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I'm not in the business of being... I got 2 kids. I don't want to be anyone else's mother.
I'm not a mother currently, and I don't want to be anybody's mother right now.
I gotta think it's a lot harder to be a man-child's mother than it is to be a child's mother.
There's actually a really good show. Now, I'm only like 2 episodes in, so keep that in mind. I don't know how it ends up, but it's called... It has the girl from S-Words Creek.
Yes.
This show is called Kevin Can F Himself.
Oh,
that one.
I wanted to watch that.
Yeah, so I started it the other day. And everything from the man's perspective, so she's supposed to be married, and her husband, whenever it's from his perspective, it's a sitcom. Everything is funny. Everything is great. But when it's from her perspective or she's alone, it's kind of like a drama.
Okay.
And it's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good insight into... Now it's, you know, dramatized. But I think that might be some people's reality. I think it's an interesting show. But something else I want to talk about with online dating for women specifically is the safety issue.
Yeah.
So I've run into it a couple times where, you know, you just don't feel comfortable, especially online dating. You're going to meet someone that you have not met before. Your friends don't know this person, so you're always telling your friends a safe word or sharing your location.
Right.
I don't know how many men are having to share their location with their friends when they go out on a date, but that's a woman's reality. And I got a message from someone who was like, hey, do you drive a blah, blah, blah car? Out of nowhere. And I do drive that blah, blah, blah car. And so I just wanted to keep tabs on this person. You can only respond back if you like the person back. So I did. And I was like, just a casual question. Are you stalking me? And his response was just ridiculous. He goes, no. 1, I'm not like that. 2, I haven't had a reason to go to blah, blah, blah since February. So, like, in your area.
Right.
So he's just, like, immediately trying to justify, of course not. Here's 2 reasons why I'm not.
Yeah.
Do you actually drive that? Question mark.
So frightening.
It was really bizarre.
Also, for that to be the first message somebody sends you is wildly specific.
Yeah. Now, this could be nothing. It could be just out of the blue.
Right.
I was trying to pick up line or whatever.
Or you could have seen it in the back of one of your pictures or whatever.
A woman's reality is that you always have to be suspicious.
Yes.
Of course, not all men are like that. Not all men are stalkers, but there's enough men out there.
But there's a percentage.
Yeah.
Well, I think there was a survey that they did, and they asked men, what is your biggest fear when online dating? And the overwhelming majority of them said something to the effect of, she won't like me when she meets me, she'll reject me. Okay, that's valid.
Rejection is a fair...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not invalidating that in any way. However, when they spoke to the women, the overwhelming majority of them said, being murdered.
And that's so true. I've been on dates where I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go on a second date with this person. But you almost don't want to tell that person right to their face when you're there.
Because you're scared of them.
Because you're scared.
Because we have to, as women, particularly in the dating scene, and I'm saying this obviously empathetically, but we have to be scared of you until we decide if we don't have to.
Right.
It's like the courtroom. You know, you're innocent until proven guilty, but the opposite. You're guilty until I have a reason to feel safe around you. And that might sound really extreme, but the reality is, if we don't behave that way,
we will get murdered.
Yeah, there's a huge percentage of women that wind up as victims because men often don't treat women with value. And so we have to assume that you are one of those men until you give us a reason not to. And that's a really tough way to live life.
Yeah. I mean, October was Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And some of the statistics on there, if you ever just like go and Google those, are crazy. A huge, huge percentage of the murders throughout the year, you know, the last year, are from women who are trying to escape their abusers. And more often than not, it's that they knew that person or they were like romantically involved in some way with them. So you do have to be careful when you're going out on these dates with random people because they can say whatever they want on their phones.
Oh, you can turn yourself into the King of England.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever you want to be, you get to be. And I do think women do that as well.
Oh, yeah.
But again, the risk for women is very different than the risk for men because statistically, women don't murder men at the same rate. Like, it's just not happening. So it's just a different game that you're playing. You have different risks, and I don't think, you know, you see these men get really angry when they get rejected or whatever, and it's like you don't understand,
right?
What
you're
we're
allowed
dealing
to
with.
be sad, sure, and even maybe you're allowed to be angry if you feel rejected, but you're not allowed to push that anger onto the other person. They are allowed to reject you.
Yep.
They are allowed to have their own feelings, and they don't have to justify them.
Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about, because we're a religious podcast, and Bree and I have grown up seeing dating differently and being taught about dating differently.
Yeah.
I was given a book when I was 13, 14-ish, somewhere in there, I was given a book called I Kissed Dating Goodbye.
Oh, I never read that book because I'm illiterate, but I remember that book.
So if you've never heard of it, if you were a Christian kid in like the early 2000s, you absolutely probably heard about this book. It was every youth service, parents were into it, whatever. The author has since totally turned around on it and said it was terrible. It ruined his life. He feels like he's ruined other people's lives. It was a very detrimental book, particularly for girls. But it talks about courting instead of dating. And that's what was presented to us from a lot of different avenues. From church, from family, from the people around us. That was the ideal, right? Like, as a good Christian girl, you should want to court, not date. So I looked up courting versus dating so I can give you guys a quick overview of it.
Yeah, because if you're not from this conservative Christian world, you're like, excuse me, I'm not back in the medieval times.
Right. So this is like an infographic that I found, and it says courting versus dating. So I'm not saying that I agree with these things about dating, but this is what it says. So courting is like a promise to make a commitment to marriage. If you're confused, there you go. Essentially, it's saying that courting is planning on marrying this person. You go into the beginning of the relationship planning on marrying this person until they give you a really good reason not to. And then it says dating. Dating doesn't account for readiness into marriage or long-term commitment. Now, that is not grammatically correct, boys and girls, but that is what it says. So essentially, when you start out courting, you're planning on marrying this person until they give you a reason not to. When you start out dating, you're not planning on marrying this person until they give you a reason to. Right? So it's flipped. So then courting is no physical intimacy. And that depends on the severity of that.
Yeah.
Depends on what kind of conservative Christian you were. It could go for anywhere from, don't have sex before marriage to never hold a boy's hand. Don't kiss until you're literally in your marriage ceremony.
Never be alone in the room with this person. Right.
You have to have a chaperone anytime you go out. Even if you're well into your 30s, 40s, okay? Like, that's the expectation sometimes for people that are courting. It depends on the extremeness. And then it says dating, not waiting until marriage is acceptable. It doesn't say what waiting until marriage. But courting, it says, usually lasts up to a year. Dating, no timeline. In my mind, I don't really know why. Now, we got engaged in 8 months. We got married 8 months later. It was very quick. But I wouldn't prescribe that to other people. Yeah. That's not something that I would say, this is the ideal and everyone should do this.
Well, because everybody's different. Everybody's relationship is different. And everybody's relationship with relationships is different.
Now, here's a big one that the next two ones are big ones. So courting, family must give permission.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Red flag. That to me just screams, again, someone has to be an owner of this woman. Right. She can't have any rights of her own.
She can't make up her own mind.
Exactly. It's all about power. And men desperately trying to keep that power.
Now, this is usually, I'm going to say usually because obviously every situation is different, but usually it's the girl's father giving permission. No one's asking permission of the boy's mother or father. Exactly. He's making his own decisions. But then someone has to approve him for her. So, yeah, this can be incredibly abused.
Yes.
It's just extremely concerning. Because, of course, you want, not everyone, many people want their family to like their partner or their significant other. Many people do. That's a common, I want my family to like Nathan. Of course you do.
Unfortunately, I don't.
You are weirdly similar. I don't know what to tell you. But the difference is I want you to like my partner versus will you give me permission to court this person, because it's not dating, courting. That's a big difference.
Now, if you were dating someone And same with me. If I'm dating someone and my family notices red flags in that person,
yes.
please, absolutely come to me and share those out of love and concern. But ultimately, the decision is up to me because it's my life. It's my relationship. I get to make the decisions.
Yeah.
You do not.
Yep. But in this world of courting, you don't get to make those decisions.
Exactly.
It would be dad saying, you'd bring whoever to dad and
Jesse
say his childhood crush. We had a poster of him on our wall.
I called him my husband for longer than I should have.
Ages. I think you referenced that fairly recently.
I still consider him my husband.
But you'd bring Jesse on in and dad could say yes or no, a definitive yes or no. And if it's yes, remember the expectation is that you are going to marry this person.
Yep.
You haven't dated them.
Exactly. I feel like it's not good for women or for men.
It's really not.
Because you don't give each other a chance to get to know each other without that burden of, I need to marry this person right now. And if there's something that I don't like about this person, is it enough to make me not marry them? I'm not sure. Whereas when you're dating, you have the opportunity to slowly get to know this person. There might be a couple of things that pop up that you might not agree with, but you're like, okay, move on. Next.
Yeah. Well, I think you create, Christians always say having sex before marriage creates this bond between two people. And then if you break up, it makes it so much harder, right? So that was an argument that I always heard as a kid. However, I think courting does the same exact thing. You've created this extreme bond right from the get-go.
Right.
We are going to get married unless you do something heinous. Unless you murder some people and whatever. We are going to get married. So I'm going to gloss over all these red flags and whatever. And it's that same bond in a different way. And now, should you have to break up, you're now breaking up with someone you were going to marry.
It's a bond that has no foundation.
Right. Yes.
It's a bond that doesn't make any sense. It's like building a house on sand, right? Yeah. Whereas when you're dating, you want to build that foundation first and then grow to marriage.
So the last point that they have is the same kind of thing. So it's the man is usually the one to approach the woman and court her. So I think that now I never courted at all, but from my experience seeing other people do it, that's 100% of the time. The girl is never going to approach the guy. Now, I think in dating now, oftentimes that's still kind of there. The guy still is approaching, but it's not like you have to.
I think that's the one good thing with online dating on apps is it's kind of flip-flopped. You can like a person, they can like you. On some of the apps, I think it's Bumble, the girl has to initiate the conversation.
Oh, interesting.
Within a certain amount of hours or days. Otherwise, that match goes away.
Okay.
I'm not an expert on the dating apps, but I'm on there.
Yeah, I just remember, and I don't know if you remember this, but there were all of these purity culture, and I'm not going to go all the way into it.
Yes.
But the amount of seminars, and I don't think they called them seminars, but you'd go to youth group or, not kids church, but youth service or whatever. And there was so much pressure, particularly put on the girls, of this is how you need to date. Is the courting is the ideal way that you need to date to find a good Christian husband that will lead you and make you spiritually sound and blah, 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 blah.
You're just a poor little lady.
There was so much of that, even in what I would say were pretty modern churches.
Oh, yeah. We went to a purity retreat.
Oh, yeah. What a funny phrase, a purity retreat.
A purity retreat. I remember specifically them talking about girls, and every time you have sex with a different boy or kiss a different boy, imagine that, a piece of your heart goes away with everything. And, or here's a vase full of little marbles, and every time
You hold someone's hand. You give someone a kiss.
Take away a marble. And then by the time you finally get around to meeting your perfect husband, you're going to be an empty vessel and nobody will want you.
And you'll have nothing to give him.
The same is not said to boys.
Not even a little bit.
Boys are said, they're told, you just can't control your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if you go and rake your way across the nation. That's just an expectation.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to settling down and finding a wife, you want to find that perfectly pure snowflake.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's so dangerous to girls to be constantly compared to anything other than a human being person.
Oh, it's constantly objects.
Your value and worth does not it does not matter if you've done the deed or whatever, held hands or kissed or whatever it is. You are enough. You are perfect. And if you decide to take a spouse, that won't matter because they're going to see you for who you are.
Right. For more than just your physical history.
Exactly. Women get compared to used cars all the time.
My gosh.
I've heard it been said, oh, you wouldn't want to buy a new car without test driving it first, right, guys?
Yeah, but
like,
then
I'm not a car.
Think of the opposite of that. You do see people say that, but then now she's a used car.
Exactly.
And now you don't want her anyway because she's a used car. And who would buy a used car when you could buy a new car? Women are just people. We're just people.
We're just people.
Just normal humans.
We have emotions too.
Yeah.
We have urges too.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Did I make everybody uncomfortable?
Sorry, all the family.
I'm really against purity culture in general. I think we should be teaching both men and women about a lot of things.
I think we need to teach people to value each other.
Exactly.
And not to be so incredibly, horrifically judgmental.
Value each other, but really also value yourself. I think that is what I'm seeing a lot on the dating apps is just people struggling.
Yeah.
Because they think that they're not enough.
Yeah.
And if we could just teach people that it really doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or not. You just have to find that fulfillment in yourself. And then we'd have a lot more single people out there. But we'd be very happy.
Well, I mean, I've had this conversation with even my husband often. And again, we've been together a long time. But to find value in who you are as a person. And I think in dating, if you could do that, if you could say, I am valuable enough to say, my needs are this. Not to have a laundry list of qualifications for your person, but to say that as a person, I need someone who loves me unconditionally. I need someone who finds value in this. In our case, I need someone that will go to Disney with me a minimum of once a year, potentially more, and just be fine with that.
Or is okay with us having a very aggressive feminist podcast.
Also that.
And never leaving each other.
We have this pact, okay, guys? I have said a million times, should Brie decide to take a husband, I will have a long, long lecture with him that he is not allowed to take her any more than maybe a 10-minute drive from me, and frankly, I'll be bitter about that. If you're more than down the road, I'm going to be bitter.
Yeah.
So, men out there.
Men out
if you want to date Brie.
Potential suitors.
Here are the rules.
Hey, I do... Well, I don't know if he's stalking you or me, but we did have a stalker on the TikTok.
We did. I ended up blocking him.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Yeah.
Hey, Stocky.
And that's another thing I think is interesting for women, and this is a little bit of an offshoot, but on social media, when women jump into men's comments and say like, oh, you're so hot, I would love to date you, but you know, whatever the comments are, it's not necessarily threatening. Now, maybe it is to some men, I don't know, but it's not necessarily threatening. Whereas we had somebody hop onto our TikTok and comment on quite a few things wanting to talk to us. And again, I don't know who he wanted to talk to, but it felt very threatening because because of what women experience online.
There's a really good movie out right now. It just came out on Netflix called Woman of the Hour. I think
that sounds right.
Anna Kendrick. It's her directing debut, but she also stars in it. And it's about that's the dating game killer.
Mm-hmm.
His name is pause for dramatic effect. His name was Rodney Alcala, and he was a serial killer. It kind of happened in the 70s, late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But he's most well known for showing up on one of those dating game shows.
Mm-hmm. Which, the boldness. I mean, holy crap.
I know. Well, that's the thing is, like, most serial killers are narcissists and they think that they can get away with anything.
True, yeah.
But I really like how Anna Kendrick directed it, because a lot of those shows or movies about serial killers try to get deep into the mind of the serial killer. This one kind of put it in perspective of more of the victims, more of the female experience with that. So a couple of things that I really liked with it was Anna Kendrick played the contestant on the dating game. And at first, all of the people were telling her what questions to ask and change her personality, change her dress, make sure her hair is perfect, whatever. And then finally, her hairdresser and makeup dresser came up to her at some commercial break and was like, just ask whatever questions you want. So then she started getting a little feisty. And she started calling out these three guys for who they were, which was, one was stupid, one was inappropriate, and the other one was a murderer. She just didn't know it.
That sounds about par for the course for online dating.
Yeah. So one of the questions she asked was, what are girls for? And I thought that was really powerful.
Yeah.
And all three of the men kind of struggled with the question. And then she asked her makeup artist at another break, how do you think I'm doing? And she's like, oh, you're doing good. You know, the underlying question is always the same. She goes, what's that? And she goes, which one of you is going to hurt me? And that is the underlying question with, I would say, most women in the dating world right now is, which one of you is going to hurt me?
Yeah. And we're not just talking emotionally here.
No.
We're talking
physically.
Which one of you is going to put me in danger?
Yeah. And I think that men just cannot wrap their heads around that. Like when we've said we would choose the bear over a man in the forest, they're like, why? Not all men are like that. But it doesn't matter because a lot of men are, and now we have to be wary of all of you.
Right.
And the ones that are not dangerous don't take us seriously.
Right. Well, I think that's the sad thing is there are plenty of good men out there, and we're actually going to do an episode on what makes a good man soon. I'm excited about that one. But there are plenty of good men out there. The simple reality is that I can sit and tell a man my experience. I can tell him I've been disrespected by men in this way. I've been talked down to like this. You can say I've been made to feel unsafe in dating like this. I can say I've had to run to my car in the dark with my keys in my hands. You know, we can explain all these things. But the simple reality is I can't make you understand it because you've never experienced it.
Exactly. So trust and believe when I say I have experienced this and I would choose the bear.
Right. Have enough value of me as a person to say, you're telling me the truth. So even though I can't empathize, I'm just going to take it at face value.
Yep.
Stop arguing with women about their own experiences.
Exactly.
For heaven's sake.
Exactly. One of the things that happened in the movie was one of the girls in the audience was sitting there and recognized the guy who was the killer and said, I think that he killed my friend.
Wow.
So she went
I wonder if that really happened in real life.
I know. I think it might be a dramatization.
Okay.
Dramatization?
Yeah, you got
it. So she runs crying out to her car and her boyfriend comes out and he's like, what's going on? And she's like, I know that guy and I think he's a killer. And he patronizes her and it was like, it's fine. I'm sure it's not. You're just overreacting. I know that was hard for you to go through, but it's fine. And she's like, get out of my car. Get out of my car. So then she does the best that she can do and tries to go talk to the security guard at the studio. And he doesn't believe her either. And he's like, whatever. Yeah, I'll have you talk to whoever's in charge of the show. Come with me. He'll be in here soon. And she's waiting and she's waiting and she's waiting. And he lied to her.
Yeah.
and gave her the name of the janitor. So the last part of the movie was this Rodney guy got a hold of this runaway girl who was young, and he tried to kill her out in the desert. Wasn't super successful, but she did the best that she could do in that moment and said, "It's okay. Can you just not tell my friends about this? I just don't want them to know." And so she kind of acted like she was the girlfriend to try to get herself out of that situation. So they're driving to a gas station. He gets out to go to the bathroom. She runs away and calls the cops. And that's how they ended up catching him.
Okay.
But that's how women have to survive.
Right. You have to, I mean, and I've seen you do this too. No fault at all, but that you have to say to the guy, "Oh yeah, I had a great time. It was so nice, whatever." And then knowing full well that you don't want to go on another date.
Yeah.
And men will look at that and say, "Oh, she's terrible. She's lying to me. She's a liar. She could have just told me to my face, blah, blah, blah." But again, you don't understand what, and you and I haven't been through major violence in this scenario like many women have, but even within that, I mean, I've had inappropriate comments from the cashier at Meijer. I've been afraid in many scenarios.
Yeah.
Just living a normal life, not an overly violent life.
No.
Not a life where I'm going to point at things and be like, "Oh, look at this massive trauma." And even so, even within that, there's still all of these little microaggressions against us, just walking around as women. Just trying to live life, for heaven's sake.
Yeah. And then if you are too nice, too, you have to be careful about being too nice, because now those guys are going to think that you're flirting with them.
Right.
That's definitely happened to me, where they mistake just being kind as, "Oh, they must love me."
Yeah. Well, I think it's because women have had to be so standoffish. So when the occasional woman is nicer, it's like, "Oh, she's paying attention to me." You know? And what an unhealthy way to view women as well. The moment that any kindness is shown, it's, "Oh, she likes me."
Right.
Or the moment that you have a conversation alone with any man, really, you're like, "Oh, I feel like this is inappropriate." You know, because he's going to think something and I can't control it. I can't always walk away.
Right.
So
just dating is hard.
Dating is hard. Okay, this is, again, a little bit off topic, but kind of on topic. When we talk about men wanting these traditional marriages, first of all, I want to make the point that, like, traditional doesn't actually mean anything.
What you want is a 1950s marriage.
Exactly. And there are so many historians, including our best friend Beth, who have looked at this and said, okay, traditional to these people, to this subsect of people, the men that are looking for a mom or a traditional housewife, they're looking at, like you said, the 1950s. This was a period that was kind of an anomaly in history. So it wasn't even all of the 1950s. I think it was about 8 years in there somewhere, where this more stay-at-home wife, hardworking husband that comes home at 5 and kicks his feet up and she has her pearls on and makes dinner. It really was only the reality for some people for a span of 8-ish years. Traditional shouldn't mean you get to just pick a time period and say this is what makes sense. Because then you have to keep going back further. The further you go back, women are expected to have jobs.
Yeah.
There was a small blip in American history where that was maybe not the case, but the further back you go, women have to have jobs too to support and help their families. Also, people of different demographics, people of different races, people outside of the United States all had to do these things. They weren't expected to just be there and, you know, making dinner and raising their kids and whatever. So I thought it was really interesting. Someone I read said, if someone tells you they want a traditional marriage, ask them why the 1950s are traditional. Like, why?
Mm-hmm.
And then I had another thought. I know we did did we do a 2-parter on submission?
It was 2 or 3. I'm not sure.
It was a hot minute ago. We talked about submission. And if you haven't listened to those, go back after this and listen to them. It'll kind of inform this. But the concept of submission within conservative Christianity is that the woman will submit to the man. So what he says goes.
Right. Master of the house. I don't know the words.
I cut that out of the last episode.
Well, it's coming back around.
So I had this thought on submission, and the boys on the dating apps, that's what they're asking for. They're asking for someone that will do their bidding, that will, because of their faith, because God said so. And I don't know if you can hear the sarcasm absolutely dripping out of my mouth. But I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about it in comparison to the Israelites. Mm-hmm. So in the Bible, the Israelites are finally free, and they're living in their own land and whatever. And they ask God for a king, because everybody around them has a king, and they want to be like everybody else, as many people do, as humanity does. They were weird because they didn't have a king, and who was going to lead them? They needed someone to tell them what to do. And God said, no, I am your king. I've got you. You don't need an intermediary of a king between you and me to tell you what to do. I will tell you what you need to do. I'll tell you where you need to go, and I'm perfect. Mm-hmm. So I will never lead you astray. But the Israelites really struggled. They really struggled.
As we all do.
Let's
not hate too much on the Israelites.
And they said, no, we want a king. Give us a king. Because everybody else has a king and we feel weird. Mm-hmm. And so finally, God said, okay. Because if you fight God hard enough, he will give you usually what you ask for. Not necessarily riches. I'm not saying riches and whatever.
Right.
But something like this. They fought God, and finally God was like, all right, I'll give you a king. I will give you an imperfect human king.
And I'll give you a lesson, too.
And it went incredibly poorly.
Yeah.
Historically, this did not go great for them. Mm-hmm. They had a lot of bad kings. Even the kings like David that you would look at and say, overall, maybe wasn't the worst. I mean, we just did 3 episodes on Bathsheba, on a portion of his life where he was horrific. Mm-hmm. So this is not a good decision, right?
Yeah, no.
This was a human decision that the Israelites made in spite of what God wanted for them. Not that we all wouldn't have made the same request of God, but that's what they did. And so I started asking myself, if God looked at his people and said, I don't want to give you an intermediary. I don't want to put a person, an imperfect person, between you and I. Why would he create marriage like that?
Yep.
Why would he look at women who are just as much his people, who are just as much made in his own image, and say, you aren't valuable enough to me to speak directly to?
Right.
You need someone between you and I. And I'm going to stick your husband there. He's not perfect. He's going to screw up. He's going to lead you astray. But for some reason, I'm going to put him there. Now, compare those two things. It's the same story.
Yeah, exactly.
God is not going to put someone between you and him. When boys on dating apps say, I want a submissive wife, or I want to be the head of my household, or I'm an alpha male, or whatever garbage language they want to use, ask them, why would God put you, little boy, between him and I?
Yeah.
God will talk directly to me. He will tell me what he wants of me. He will tell me what I should be doing with my own life. He's not going to tell you first and then you get to tell me. That doesn't make any sense.
Because a game of telephone is always going to end poorly.
Yes.
See Adam and Eve.
I was thinking a lot about that, and I thought that was really interesting to think about, to compare those two things. And I would love if you guys, those of you out there that are dating, if you come across a boy on one of these apps that's saying things like this, I beg of you, ask him that question and then message it to us on TikTok because I want to hear about it.
Because that's what I've been doing. Not necessarily that, but I've been, okay, if you're going to act like a creep, I'm going to take a screenshot of it and I'm going to save it and tell my friends about it. So
you're going to tell the world about it at this point.
Oh, yeah. But take your screenshots of your terrible dating experiences.
Yes, we would love to do a part 2 eventually of this and weave in all of your experiences and see what you have to say.
Side note, yeah, I did have a guy tell me that he wanted a traditional life and he wanted to be the head of his household. And I was like, tell me more. What do you mean by that? And I went off and then we broke up.
Darn. I don't know. I think it's so interesting to watch men have to defend that point too. Because...
And then they backpedal. They're like,
they do.
Oh, no. Yeah, I do want a partnership. I do want this. I do agree with you. Until we get married and things get, flipped around.
Well, because if you can get, I guess tricked is what I want to say. Like, because if you're going to lie about that ahead of time, you're tricking someone into marrying you on false pretenses. And if they can manage that, now it's much harder for you to leave. Not that you can't. And I certainly encourage, if you feel that you're being abused in a situation like this, I certainly encourage you to leave. And I believe God encourages you to leave as well. But it's harder.
Yeah.
And they know that.
Yes. I mean, we've said this before and we'll say it 10 times over again. God cares so much more about you than he does about marriage.
Or dating.
Or XYZ.
Yeah.
He cares so much more about you.
Yeah. You are God's child. The institution of marriage is not. Dating is not. Your ideal position in life as a woman is not to get married. If you find someone and you want to get married, if you want to take a husband, that's great. Do it.
Yeah.
But that is not your ideal station as a woman.
But also look for someone who is going to add value to your life.
Yes.
Please do not settle. And if people are telling you to lower your standards in any way, shape, or form, I would say raise them even higher.
Yeah. Keep them sky high. Keep them so high that only the right person is going to be able to climb that wall.
Because if you're being the best version of yourself and you're really trying hard to just be happy and content with yourself, you should be able to find someone who is bringing that same level and value to your life.
Right.
Not someone who's going to bring you down. Not someone who you have to settle for. That's been said to me so many times.
Right.
Like, I know he did this and he was inappropriate this way and he was kind of, that's a little bit of a red flag. But maybe you just go out one more time. It's okay. Just try one more time. No, if he's going to act that way on day 1.
Right.
Or day 20, it doesn't matter. Leave him.
Well, because the concept is a woman is not worth as much if she's not married. So that's where it's coming from, is people are like, well, no, you have to be with someone to have value. But you don't.
It is, I think, harder for people to relate to single people in some ways. I've had so many people say, when are you getting your MRS degree when you're in college? That's the only reason you went to that school, right? Or just, are you dating anyone? Are you talking to anybody? Are you liking anybody? Is anybody liking you?
I can't wait till the day you get married.
Yes. Or you're just so beautiful. You're just so beautiful. How has no one found you yet? Those are all things that have been said to me, but
particularly the beautiful one.
Yes, I'm delightfully beautiful. But it will be okay. You don't have to find a man, or if you want to, I don't have any advice.
I think we've given a lot of advice over the last hour. But one thing I did want to end on, and this is definitely off topic.
But timely.
So this episode should come out right after the election. And I wanted to say, and I don't know, this is, we're recording this several days ahead, so I don't know who won. I don't know what happened. I know how I chose to vote, and I'm not going to share that because you don't need to know. But
Melissa knows how I vote.
I do not. I don't think it's like a secret. But I just wanted to say, I don't know if all of you out there are people of faith, but for those of you that are, and even for those of you that are not, whatever happened, I know some of us are scared right now.
Yeah. I would say the majority of us.
Many
both sides.
People, on both sides are going to be afraid of whatever happens. And as people of faith, I hope that we can just sort of remember that God knew what was going to happen.
Yep.
This is not surprising. God knew what was going to happen when he created the world in the election of 2024 in the United States. And he's got this.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, we really only have one true king.
Right.
And he is perfect, and he's going to take care of us.
Yep.
And hindsight is 2020, right? So when we look back on these years, a million years from now, because we're going to all live till 1,000,000.
Oh, dear.
We're going to see how God carried us through.
I have to live to 1,000,000?
Yes.
Brianna, I am already going gray. What will happen?
Science and technology. It's going to preserve us until the year 1,000,000.
All right.
I'm sorry.
No, but I just wanted to make that point of whichever side is feeling afraid, even if you're kind of in the middle ground and you're feeling afraid, God has us covered. He always has. He always will. He knew what was going to happen. He knows what's going to happen tomorrow. He knows what's going to happen through whatever presidency this is. And I think we're going to be okay.
I think we're going to be okay. Is there a song there? I just made it.
I don't know. Did you make it? Now Bree's just going off the cuff. All right. So we'll see.
No,
you guys.
there was a song. Every little thing is going to be... Yeah, that was a song. That was a song.
You can't yell at me. You didn't know.
Goodbye.
All right. So next week, ideally, I will be slightly better.
I'm doubting it.
Me too, man. Anyway, we're going to do an episode on the concept of being still. I'm very excited about it.
I'm being still right now.
It's going really poorly, guys. And just talking about what it's like, because there's a verse, if you aren't familiar with it, be still and know that I am God, and it gets thrown out all the time.
It is on all of the Christian merchandise. Just walk into a Hallmark.
Walk into a Hobby Lobby.
Oh
man.
my gosh.
Oh.
And just stop. Because they told you to.
But we're going to talk about that and the context of it biblically, so that it's not just like a single verse that we're throwing at you.
Yeah.
And what it means as a Christian, as a person of faith,
A POF.
to be still, what that commandment is. We'll just go into it. So we'll be excited to see you for that.
Yay.
Yay. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Love you, bye.